how can we kind of leverage media maybe better as Christians? Like my mind always goes to, and I'm just going to be honest, like I'm always honest, whether it gets me in trouble or not. Oftentimes like Christians in general, we're not known for making, blockbuster videos. We're not known for making, the best music that's winning Grammys, and if we are, like I said, I quoted Paul, right? Whether we eat or drink, no matter what we do unto the glory of God, right? So the reason why Paul says eat or drink, this isn't news to you, is because they are the two most fundamental activities to human life. Everybody needs to eat, everybody needs to drink. If we do those unto the glory of God, how much more should we be doing everything else that we do unto the glory of God? Whether it's brushing our teeth, combing, well, we don't comb our hair. But whatever we do, now I'm thinking about, okay, these things, eating, drinking, brushing our teeth, cleaning ourselves, whatever, has an impact on me, maybe my wife and kids, maybe my immediate sphere. But now we're talking about media, and you pointed it out earlier on. I mean, we live in a day and an age where, number one, we're bombarded with media, but also it's we've been given this opportunity to leverage something that's extremely powerful. If you think about it in the past, right? So in the past, it started with always stories, verbal stories back and forth, right? We tell stories back and forth. Then the printing press, and then radio, and then TV, then color TV, movies, all this stuff. So now we're able to leverage media, engaging almost every sense. You go to these theaters now, and the seats rock. And the air blows on you, it's insane.
You want all senses.
All senses are engaged. So how as Christians, there's no neutrality. How as Christians can we better be intentional, I guess, and leverage this stuff? Like, what suggestions?
Question.
Like, why aren't we making Iron Man, man?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's interesting is, you bring up so many things there. There's so many things to pack in there. It's interesting that you even bring up Paul. Could you imagine Paul? Who was all about planting churches and spreading the gospel. If he could have imagined that we could do a film like what we're doing right here, if the Apostle Paul could be in this scenario where he could say, people in South Africa could be watching this right now, we could be talking, he would be, I feel he would be mind blown. Like, that is unbelievable. That's insane. Because I just did a Meet the Teacher so if you do so many classes at STRU, you got to meet the teacher. I had people on there from like Auckland, New Zealand, and like South Africa. And so Paul would be drooling.
Amazed, right?
And you brought up the printing press and all these other kind of progression steps, but think about how late in even human history that was.
Oh, dude.
So we are in a we're in this place right now that is like unique of all of human history. We've been giving such a gift. God could have given the internet to any generation he wanted to. He decided to do it to this generation, right? The true global reach. He could have done anything he wanted, right? But he did it here. So then now we have a responsibility. You bring up Paul in Corinthians 10, where he's saying, yes, fundamental activities, but then he continues by saying, or anything that you do unto the glory of God. Well, what does it mean to do unto the glory of God? In my mind, it is make God look glorious in it. Okay, so if I'm doing anything,
this is so good.
I make God look glorious in it. That's what doing unto the glory of God is.
The chief end of man is to glorify God and enjoy him forever.
That's it.
Right? That's
and so if I'm going to leverage media, then I need to do it with the eternal perspective in mind. I'm going to be standing before you and me. We're going to blink and we're going to be standing before the King.
Yeah.
And so I need to be doing every bit of work that I do is for the glory of Christ.
Yeah.
And D.L. Moody, one of my favorite dudes, right? And it's on my tattoo, he had a famous line, and it said, our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at something that doesn't really matter.
Ooh.
And I'm like, that is my life in video. Now, I can't really speak to the feature film side because you're right. It wasn't always this way. Look at Charlton Heston from just a few decades ago. Yeah. This guy's making huge blockbuster films.
Biggest movies ever made.
Exactly. He set so many records in film, not just Christian film.
Yeah.
And then we kind of like had this hiatus of kind of lower stuff. We had kind of the Jesus film, and we had some other things. And then you have, like, let's say Mel Gibson come along and do The Passion of the Christ. That really changed a lot of things. You have The Chosen kind of coming out now. So I think people are trying to say we can do better. We can do better.
Leverage this,
But when I'm talking about that, so I'm not really in the feature film side. But on the average everyday person, one of the things I think about is D.L. Moody all the time. I don't want to succeed. Well, I used to tell my film students all the time, I could teach you how to make a commercial, but if you make a commercial about a car, who cares? I'm not saying honest work isn't good. I'm not saying that. I'm
not saying it's bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. You shouldn't work in the secular world. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if your heart is to make a thing for yourself, what good is that? It doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
right? God is a God of, he values, quality work. I'm down with all that. I think that you could work at Walmart to the glory of Christ.
Absolutely.
That is for sure.
Absolutely.
But I want to have that intentional, eternal mindset that says, I don't want to succeed at stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah. I want to succeed at stuff that when I stand before my King, he says, that's what I had for you to do. Good job.
That's amazing.
Well done.
I mean, that's pretty powerful. And it's actually kind of convicting. So.
Yeah, but it's that intentionality, right? It's always intentionality. We talk about this from a parental perspective, where we're looking at all this stuff now through our kids' eyes, and you see a different angle.
Absolutely.
And I want to live in that. I don't want to just think about that for them. Like, I want that for me, Greg Cash.
Yeah.
What do I do to be serious? If I'm in this race that Paul talked about, I'm running a race, then I want to be poured out for stuff that matters for eternity.